The video game industry is completely obsessed with remakes. This new Until Dawn surpasses that sense of futility. It's not exactly a remake. It's basically the same game, launched less than a decade after its original version. That said, Until Dawn still looks quite good visually. The game has aged remarkably well, and even though this new version was developed by Ballistic Moon instead of Supermassive Games, it's still practically the same game. The characters repeat the same lines, events occur in the same order, and while some minor changes have been added, they're so subtle that they don't significantly impact the experience. So, if you've already played the original, there's not much new for you here. What you'll find is a graphical update that costs $60. Even though the graphics look better, with improved lighting, smoother animations, and more detailed character models, I don't think the differences are enough to justify the price. Even the frame rate is more stable, which is an improvement, but again, I don't consider it worth $60. Now, if you've never played the original Until Dawn, the game still has a lot to offer. It's a narrative-driven adventure title, very much in line with what you'd expect from Quantic Dream or Telltale games. But what sets it apart is that it's not just a horror story. Until Dawn is a slasher, with all the cliches that come with that genre. The game takes you through creepy environments where you have to make decisions that affect the characters' fates and face fairly simple quick-time events, QTEs. The story jumps between multiple characters, most of whom aren't particularly likable, but that's part of the charm. It's a slasher, and annoying characters are part of the package. The premise of the game is quite classic. A group of friends play a cruel prank that ends in tragedy, and a year later, they're lured back to the same place, where a killer starts hunting them down. While the plot may seem familiar, Until Dawn keeps things fresh by playing with certain narrative twists, keeping you intrigued. I've always maintained that this is Supermassive's best game, and revisiting it in this new version, I still believe that to be true. The unexpected twists, multiple endings, and strong narrative pacing make the experience much more immersive than other games in the genre. One of the key factors that makes Until Dawn work so well is the support it received from Sony, which funded a generous budget for its development. This allowed Supermassive's developers to realize all of their ambitions, something that has sadly been lacking in some of their later projects. Until Dawn greatly benefits from this financial backing, making it a solid game despite some annoying characters or dumb decisions. In fact, the story, with its slightly exaggerated tone, works because it takes itself seriously, giving it a unique charm. There's a lot to enjoy in Until Dawn, from the monsters lurking in the woods to saw-style traps, and even the psychologist segments that add an extra layer of tension. The game is filled with dramatic moments, character shifts, and unexpected twists. It's not a game that will deeply scare you, but it is very fun. While there's a point around the 2-hour mark where the narrative seems to falter a bit, the pacing quickly picks up again to keep you hooked. A fundamental aspect of the success of games like this is that the decisions you make must matter, and Until Dawn excels in this area better than many other titles. At a key moment in the game, you'll be forced to make a brutal decision that determines who lives and who dies, altering the course of the story. If you make the wrong choice, characters will die in horrible ways. Ballistic Moon has improved the visual effects in these gory scenes, with much more impactful graphics than in the original, though some deaths remain somewhat underwhelming. What really makes Until Dawn stand out is that it's not about making the right or wrong decisions, but about making the choices you prefer. If some characters irritate you and you want to see them die violently, the game lets you do that. While some plot twists are hard to predict, it's possible to make smart decisions if you pay attention to details. You can even save most of the characters, though not all. Compared to other narrative games, where following a single character and making a mistake can make the story feel incomplete, in Until Dawn, mistakes naturally fit into the plot. After all, this is a slasher, and character deaths are part of the genre. No matter how things turn out, it always feels like an appropriate conclusion. Moreover, the pacing of the game is another one of its strengths. There's no dead time where characters are just standing around to fill gameplay hours. Nor are there repetitive backtracking sequences. The game keeps you constantly moving, always involving you in new activities and decisions, even if not all of them have a significant impact on the story. This helps prevent boredom, even in moments where the narrative doesn't move forward much. Though the story of Until Dawn isn't particularly deep, and the dialogue can be cheesy, it works very well within the genre. The horror atmosphere is well executed, though it's not a completely serious horror experience. The game has a self-aware tone that sometimes makes it hard to tell if certain scenes are supposed to be terrifying or just ridiculous, like the famous scene with the deer on the cliff. Should we feel terrified by the deer, or just laugh? It's still unclear. In summary, Until Dawn remains one of the best examples of its genre. The remaster improves the graphics and adds a few new endings, but it doesn't justify the $60 price tag. It's a good game, but this update feels more suitable as a $20 patch for the PS5, rather than a full re-release. If you've already played the original, there's not enough new content to justify the expense, but if it's your first time, it's worth experiencing, though it might be better to wait for a sale. What do you think? Leave a comment and let us know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. We upload new videos every day, and the best way to see them first is by subscribing and turning on notifications. Thanks for watching.